How will you know when you're good at what you do? Do you listen to other people come by and say, hey, you're doing a great job? I know I've had people a long time say, Dr. Lee, you're really doing a wonderful job. But all the while, our results weren't there. Things weren't happening, but people will tell you that, and if we're not careful, we get to believing it. You have to have some benchmarks in place. You have to have a trusted group of advisors that'll tell you. Then, when you are good at what you do, how does it feel being good at what you do? You see, we don't chase the outcome, we chase the feeling. That's the ultimate test of motivation. We've got to help our people step into that picture, see that picture where they can experience the feeling that they're doing well. Once they start feeling it, then that's where the real magic comes in. Telling them is one thing, but helping them feel it. So we don't chase the outcome, we chase the feeling. Now, in the world of psychology, that's referred to as a primary driver emotion. That's the way we are. We don't chase the outcome, we chase the feeling. And the more we help our people step into that, to see that picture, the more successful we can become. And that's where your real leadership begins. Now, it's extremely hard to focus. You and I know that. Now, I'm going to ask you to do something either tonight or right now, or after you hear this or whatever, but don't do it now because somebody might think you're asleep. But close your eyes and try to count to 50 without letting anything else come in there. No other thoughts enter your mind but those numbers. And I bet you can't do it because it's hard to focus on one thing, but that's what great leaders do. One day in my office as a superintendent, I had on my schedule some gentleman from a company wanted to see me, and I saw him and he came in and we exchanged some small talk, and I handed him my card when he came in, but he didn't give me his card at that moment. We sat down and we talked a little bit. I was fairly familiar with the company, didn't know much about them, but I knew they were a school improvement company. And I asked him, I said, what can you do for us today? He said, I feel like I can help you make big improvements in your school system. Well, you know how we leaders are. A lot of times we think we have everything in place to do that, but you got to always be listening because you never know when the solution might come through the door. And no matter what type solution it is, but listen what he did. In a few minutes of our conversation, he handed me his business card, and facing me on his business card was a typical card, just like we have with our name, address, and the phone number. And then he said, please don't turn the card over. He said, I have something I want you to do. We talked a little bit more. He said, now what I'd like for you to do, I'm going to flip this card over. And when you flip it over, I want you to count the number of F's that you see in this sentence. Now, I'd like for you to count those right now, but don't look at it long, because usually we're in a hurry, we're distracted, we don't see things, and it passes us by. But I looked at it. He said, now flip the card back over. It took about 3 or 4 seconds. I flipped it back over. I said, I saw 4 F's. No, that's wrong. There are more than 4 F's. He said, turn the card back over and take your time and count them. Then there were more F's. He said, you see, in the word of, O-F, the mind is so geared that you don't pick up that F in of. He said that the solutions that you have of making your system better are already here. You just have to see them. You have to see what others don't see. Maybe I wasn't looking closely enough at those F's. He said, I can help you find the F's in your system. And I said, give me a proposal. I hired the guy, and sure enough, we saw things, we found things that we had not seen, and it was simple, but the little things often make a big difference. Are you counting the F's in your system? Are you seeing everything you need to see? Because the solutions are right in front of your nose, like magic. That's what real leadership is. It's magic. And once you find them, wonderful things will happen to you.